Hi everyone, I hope you're well. For those of you who are new to me, my name is Lisa Espinosa. I'm a spiritual career coach for therapists, wellness professionals, and other helpers, whatever job you're in, but your heart is here to help others, to be of service, to be an inspiration, to be an example of what's possible, to do things differently than the world expects, right? To usher in creative solutions. That's just a few of the ways. And so I've been here on YouTube with this 30-day journey. Tomorrow will be day 30. So thank you everyone who's been watching, whether you started in day 1 or you just found me now, or maybe you've been watching, whenever you catch the videos. I had another teaching plan. I was walking here to one of my favorite cathedrals and in Mexico where I live, and I was the whole way walking here, I was like, okay, I know what I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about this specific teaching. And then I got here and that totally changed. So I'm going to write that idea down so I can share it maybe tomorrow or just in another teaching that I will share. Because what came up was, so on the way here, I also had in my bag a couple of rocks and shells that I collected back when I was in Ireland in September. And those, I brought them with me because I picked them up when I was doing these morning walks when I was there, and I was going through a lot of healing, like a lot of kind of unexpected things that were coming up for me. And so I brought them back, and I've had them in my room, in my studio where I have my office and my meditation room and all of that, and I've had them there. And it was like a beautiful reminder of that time, but it was also a really painful time. I knew there was going to come a moment when I was ready to release those rocks and shells. And I realized that this weekend. I've already shared this, but I had a wonderful birthday celebration on Saturday. It wasn't my birthday on Saturday. My birthday was October 23rd, but we were in San Antonio for my daughter's wedding. And although I celebrated my birthday there with the kids, I didn't, I wanted to do a celebration here in Mexico with friends here, because we've only been here 2 years, and I really wanted to do that. So I realized then that it was time to ceremoniously dispose of those rocks and shells, and I wanted to come here by this cathedral and do it just in some of these trees. And so as I held these rocks and these shells, and I wasn't planning on sharing this at all, but then when I was starting this, I really got the guidance to share it in case it resonates with any of you, in case you can use this ceremony idea, in case it's something it touches in you, because I know that this year, as the year of the snake, right, in Chinese astrology, it's a year of shedding, releasing, slowing down to speed up, creating foundational systems, all to help us rise up more powerfully next year. And so I know that if I'm shedding a lot of stuff, you're shedding a lot of stuff too. And so my prayer as I held these rocks, I was like, okay, I want to release all of the pain and sadness and unworthiness and hurt and anger, although that was the least thing I felt and for this particular experience. It was more the, confusion, shock, all of that. As I held those stones in my hand, I was like, I want to release all of that and everything, because I know that hurt, that deep hurt, wasn't just about what was happening in that moment. It was actually being used to purge like these core pain that I've been carrying in my heart for years, maybe lifetimes. Yes, lifetimes. And so you know how sometimes there's an incident, there's some sort of experience that happens that the universe, God, source can use as a way to purge everything else. So I was like, okay, and let this also release all of that this experience not be wasted. And then I prayed that prayer that Mother Mary showed me years ago, right, of like, turn this into something beautiful. And I hadn't been able to say that before with this particular incident. I would kind of rush it and say like, okay, turn this into something beautiful. But I didn't feel it in my heart because I had still so much hurt and so much shock and confusion. It just really brought up a lot. But this was finally, I felt like, okay, deep from my heart, I was like, turn this into something beautiful, release any feelings that I can have of victimhood or perpetrator, any of that. And then I put it on the earth. And just felt like, okay, this is complete. Now I know initiations can sometimes come back, right? I know there might be other layers of it in the future, but I feel absolutely like I'm at a place of completion, an important place of completion. And so I want to just offer you that prayer. I know it wasn't very specifically worded, but you get the idea, right? It's like you're releasing, you're asking that none of the pain be wasted, right? That it be used for whatever it was meant to be used, whatever deep healing. And you're asking for it to be transmuted into beauty and love and light. Like I said, I don't want to look back on this and ever feel shame or regret or like, oh my gosh, I remember that time. Definitely I can look back and be like, wow, that was incredibly painful, but I'm so proud of myself. But oh my gosh, I grew so much. Oh my gosh, I have so much more compassion, so much more wisdom, so much more power. I'm so much stronger. I'm so much more valuable to my people because of that experience. And that's what my prayer was. So I want to offer that to you. Use it, take it, adapt it, use it, modify it to fit your needs, your experiences. Maybe right now it doesn't resonate, but it might in the future. And of course, today was the day Greg started chemo back again. Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought those were birds. It's a drone. Okay, I was like, the birds are making this weird sound. It's a drone. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, last October, my husband Greg got diagnosed with cancer. We went through a whole year of, oh my gosh, so much, just a lot. And we thought we were done for a period, but then for various reasons, the doctors were like, no, we really recommend you do 2 more months of chemo. And although we were like, no, after really, tuning into our heart, doing our own research, all of that, it felt like the right decision. So we started that again today. But it was so different. It was such a different experience this time. Of course, one, it's when it's very different the first time you go to chemo and you've never experienced that before. It's all of the unknown. But there was also, I just recognized my growth. So I feel like I'm going to be sitting down and really writing down everything I've learned through this journey of walking with Greg through this cancer journey. Not about cancer specifically, although I have learned a lot, but more about when something unexpected happens, when something really challenging happens, when something that can just kind of rock your world, right? Or you're just like, whoa, what happened? Like, how do you keep showing up, especially as a helper? How do you keep showing up? And I want to be very clear when I say that, because I am not suggesting that when something really challenging happens, the right decision to do is always to just keep working. It absolutely might not be. I have had experiences, I remember, I've had experiences where the right decision would have been to pause or stop or whatever it was. So it's not about that. It's like, how do you keep showing up, whatever decision, whether you're showing up to work, you're showing up to life, but how do you keep engaging in life? How do you keep from fear from overtaking you? How do you keep from panic from clouding your decisions? Now, notice, I don't say you're not going to feel panicked. I felt all of those things. I felt panic. I felt fear. There were so many things. But there were things I learned through the process. Now, of course, being a coach for 15 years, I had a ton of tools, thank goodness, that I could use. I hope you can't hear that sound. It is very annoying to me. It's like a squeaking sound. But so I was able to implement those, but there were still times where I felt like my nervous system was so dysregulated. And now we're not fully on the other side, but definitely we've crossed a threshold. I've crossed milestones with this journey. And I feel like I have so much to share about that. Again, not specific to cancer, but whatever you're dealing with, whether it's the loss of a person, a loved one, the end of a relationship, whether it's changing jobs, changing careers, that can feel like such an upheaval. So please do not compare. Do not use this against yourself, because I know sometimes I've had people come like, oh, well, but I'm not dealing with cancer. That's so big. I should be able to handle this better. There's no comparison. Like that comparing experiences is coming from your ego structure. Your soul uses whatever experience you're going through to bring about healing. So I'm going to end here because it's kind of a colder day here. I know if you're in Chicago or other places like that, that sounds very wimpy. My daughter sent me a video of her in Chicago today, downtown. She looked like she was walking in a blizzard. So I realized that this temperature is quite lovely. It's like 65. It's just incredibly windy, and that's making me really cold. So I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you tomorrow for day 30. Remember 2 things. There's free sovereignty consults. There's still slots left for this month. This is an opportunity for you to talk with me privately over Zoom. It's a non-judgmental space, but for me to really help you get clear on where you are now and where you want to go. What are the blocks that are in the way? I had a consult with an amazing person today, and it was so wonderful. It just like, I love connecting with people in this way. And of course, if you want to hear more, in the consult, I'll share the details of my coaching programs. That's one. And I'll put the link to that in the comments. The second thing is my free masterclass, From Shedding to Shining, Embodying Your Sovereign Helper Self, is this month, next week. So sign up for that. That's a free masterclass. I'm going to be sharing so many practical, powerful teachings so that you can continue to shed this year, shed what's not necessary, and also start the shining, right? We're here to shine and glow and radiate and take up space. So I hope to see you then. Bye, everyone.